Welcome to Deges and Dragons.
I thought this was going to be hard.
Welcome to Deges and Dragons.
Who wants some of the Ripper?
Take chance, baby. Woo!
Smoke down!
He's clearly Captain Crunch. I'm a man of the people.
Shattered world.
Ripper always knows!
Degecast.
And welcome to the launch day edition of the Degecast, the supplemental podcast for everything Deges and Dragons. I'm your host, Nate Lindberg. You can find me all over social media at Nate Lindberg, and you can follow our brand on Facebook, Twitter, and most importantly, YouTube at Degetime. That's Degetime. You know, we also have a couple other people here on the show. We've got one of the only players to actually sit on every single player panel for every game we have shot thus far. We have Tony. Don't try to pronounce his last name. Shermuxness.
How's it going, guys?
Doing good, man. Happy. We're recording this on Easter, so happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Happy. And the other voice that you hear there is our resident GM and therapy expert, Conrad Odette. Conrad, say hey.
Hey.
Oh, hey.
There it is.
All right. So, 2 years ago, Conrad approached me with an idea. He wanted to merge his passion for helping others through therapy and combine it with another love, his love for pen and paper gaming. Through his life, he's found that, gaming was incredibly therapeutic, both as a player and a game master. Yesterday, our first episode of Kids on Bikes launched. 2 years of preparation finally came to fruition. Between all of these incredible games, Kids on Bikes, Shattered, Clink, Worldwide Wrestling RPG, Ghost Ops, Project Biomotus, Miracle, and Tiny Frontiers, we've now shot nearly 60 episodes worth of content to bring directly to you. Each Friday at 8 a.m., a new episode will drop on our YouTube channel, and the day after a new episode airs, come back here to this podcast feed and check out the latest episode of the Degecast. Each Saturday at 8 a.m., you'll find a new episode here right in this feed. We're going to be bringing you guys a slew of extra content to enjoy. We'll have some behind-the-scenes stories, production woes. We'll take a deeper dive into the therapy side of things, but I might be most excited for some of the special guests we've actually got lined up for you guys. We're going to be talking to some of the mastermind creators behind many of these RPGs in long-form interviews. You guys excited yet? Do you guys want to be part of this very show? Well, you can be. Call the official Degecast mailbox at area code 617-506-9686 and leave us a message at 617-506-9686. We'll listen to it right here on the Degecast and we'll respond. Or if you'd like, email your questions or comments to degetime@gmail.com, degetime@gmail.com. Kids on Bikes, for me personally, was a blast to play. Taking on the role of a book-smart, yet, kind of stubborn and sometimes dim-witted 10-year-old was a pretty fun way to reflect back on my own childhood. Tony, as a player, what did you find, what did you enjoy most about Kids on Bikes, specifically the episode we just watched?
Well, I guess based off of the episode we just watched, it was the beginning of the game. And one thing we're focusing on the first episode, and the majority of our games is, making the characters. And honestly, the Kids on Bike character creation is super easy and quick to pick up. You don't have to read through pages and pages of, text to be able to figure out how to make your character. You can pretty much look at the character sheet and, be given a instruction of a couple of sentences to fill the entire thing out, and you're ready to go. So I feel like that's a huge aspect of games, especially if you're looking to just kind of like pick up and play as little one shots, kind of like what we did here. Just, get together with a bunch of friends, maybe digitally, and in the times that we're currently living in at the moment. But be able to just, pick up a game and go and not have to spend, hours and hours kind of creating and building your characters before you can actually get to the game where you're, wanting to play.
And we came up with some really cool characters here. Out of all the games that we've played so far, and up to this point, we've shot, like I said, we shot just about everything. I think we got maybe as of this recording, we have one or two more to go. One more to go. These are probably some of my favorite characters. Not that we don't have some great characters in all these other games. Don't get me wrong, but I love the dynamic between the two Nelsons. You've got Chad, you've got Sean, the two brothers, and you guys in the episodes that are coming up, you'll really see a cool dynamic, cool bond form between these characters, through what they've got to go through. So this is a really cool episode for me to watch. Conrad, you crafted this world, so I kind of want to get a little bit of insight into your mind. As what were you thinking, kind of creating this story? Why Minnesota? None of us have any ties to Minnesota, so I thought that it was an interesting place to choose for our story like this. Talk a little bit about that. Like, what was your thoughts going into creating this story?
So first, I actually just want to touch real quick on what you guys were just talking about with like the character creation and stuff. No,
you're not allowed. I did not say you could.
With half of our games, probably I pre-generated the characters that everybody will play as. So for this one, because character creation is so simple, I thought that we should show it off and do it in the moment. The players got to really make original characters there instead of, I think I do like a pretty decent job, as you'll see coming up, with catering characters to like the players themselves, just from experience with them. It was fun in not knowing what my characters were going to be in the world. That being said, making the world itself, a little bit of the inspiration that you'll come to see is like Twin Peaks. I think the biggest way to tell that right away is with Dr. Audette, where he's like, he's very busy. And the reasoning for that is, well, he's a science teacher, but he's also the human physician, the veterinarian. He's always at like the gym, like swimming. Like he just does all these different things for the town. And
absent-mindedly too, a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little silly, where you wouldn't have one person governing all of these incredibly important aspects of the town, and certainly not today. So I thought that could add like a level of whimsy. They tell you to do everything like pre-cell phone, and they also, want you to be removed enough so that the solution isn't, I'm going to just go to the next town over. I'm looking around, the United States, and I just right away, like I started thinking about like rich forests and like some snow, but also where there's like a reputation for being like friendlier, where like it shares like that border with Canada, like Minnesota there. And it's like, hey-oh. So all of that kind of played into it. And then once I started looking up actual like facts about Minnesota, like I looked at a few different states for, just things about it. And I thought about the main plot, which you'll come to see, which is, it would be total spoilers at this point to give into any of that. But there are elements that I looked up that say, oh, okay, these are like real things. Like I'm not just making them up. Like, oh, Minnesota happens to, have these aspects about it. Like, no, like these are actual, statistics for the state. I guess like the funniest thing right away, which isn't that funny, is like with the bears, the bear attacks. But it's like
bear attacks.
Minnesota has, plenty of bears in these woods, and that's a really simple example and fairly spoiler free. So I'll leave it at that. But yeah, like the whimsy, the genuine next door neighbor, hey, how you doing? The remoteness of it. There were really there's so many different factors that lined up really well for Minnesota for me. From there, I thought, yeah, we could make this fun, like ideal town that is contained and has its own plot to it. I think that's a kind of my thought process. And you'll see, like, I actually do like research for like everything. Like I do make up plenty of like silly stuff, but I also, anything that could be factual, like I double check it.
So I do have to ask, why pickling?
Is pickling come up? Did that even come up yet?
Yeah,
we all made the rumors.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Just I was gonna say like to what degree have we encountered like the pickling yet? Right. So with the Pickle Palace and making the rumors, where something was so remote, and like, oh, instead of just canning everything, like let me add a little bit of like a silly spin to that, and instead make it pickling. That's when I thought, okay, like I actually just love that idea, instead of like having like it, because it's the way baby food comes, like with canned like bananas, and like things like that. But when you pickle bananas, that's straight up bizarre, So like,
yes, it is.
That's why I was like, oh, like this form of preservation is just entertaining because it was funny to me. Then I thought, well, let's make the town just excellent at it. There'll be like a real significant landmark, the preservation of food where they're remote. Everybody will be able to eat. Technically, whether or not that
theoretically
food is good.
Do they want to eat
story,
it? That is the question.
Yeah, but everybody will have like plenty of stores for like those harsh winters and stuff. So another thing that's really good about this game here, and what's fun about the first time you set out, every time, is when you go to make your characters, it's really like sculpting. You have these ideas, and you do like you sculpt them into this image that you have. But then the relationships themselves, like you can't perfectly visualize how those are going to be until you get into the moment where you actually act on them. I mean, Tony did a hilarious job setting the tone with Dan right from the start, where he introduced himself and he said, "My idiot father," and that really set a tone for the relationship. And Dan could have reacted a number of ways to it, but it was really just sort of like narcissistic innocence. Like he like can't possibly take in being an idiot because of that. Like doesn't punish like his son in any capacity. He's just like he's just not even hearing it. That in itself, like you see that relationship start to develop, and that's hilarious. With Nate and his playing the younger brother, that relationship, like we talked about, so you have like the standard like white picket fence family and all of this stuff. I certainly didn't expect, and I don't want to put words in Nate's mouth, just the way that like Chad was portrayed to be like, no, like stay away from these fools, and constantly trying to just really get him to do the right thing. And it was a bit unexpected for me. And
he just wanted the best for his little brother.
Yeah. And, not that he wouldn't want what's best for him, just based on what we said initially. It really wasn't until like the role playing came up where it's like, oh, okay. And this is the way he cares for him. And then it led to some great moments with Nate where he was like obstinate and like didn't want to follow along what he said, but it was still like playful, and getting to see those types of things play out and then evolve. And you'll see them continue to evolve like as episodes continue to roll out. That's a ton of fun for me as like a game master to observe. And when I'm a player, like I know that's fun. Like I make my character, but then I don't truly know until I get to talk to other people, like really like, oh, this, yeah, you know what, this is what I'm going to take a stand on. I didn't make a big deal of it when I was writing things down, but yeah, like I love that. And
yeah, you kind of just start out with like the sketch of a personality, and you just kind of add to the canvas as the game and the campaign progresses.
Yeah, and it's the interactions, like the social interactions with like the other people that really guide that brush along, to jump off of your metaphor there. Like we have the sketch, and Nate fills in that pain, and Tony is filling in like the steadiness of the lines and whatnot. So we have this complete picture, but it's all of us. We're all part of this one story. So yeah, so I think that's fun and like very obvious in this episode, where you get to see the character creation it's brief and fun, but then the evolution of the characters as things are presented is very fun.
Definitely. I mean, even just in the, I think it's 25, 30 minutes of gameplay that's in this episode. You start to even see some of that character development, and I think that's one of the reasons that this is one of the series that's kind of close to my heart. I think it might be partly because it's the first one we've done, so it's going to hold that special place in my heart. But also, I really enjoyed the character development between all four of the characters, and even for that matter, some of the NPCs that you'll see in this game too. So for me, some of the kind of interesting parts of this game, this series rather, was editing it and putting it together. So as we've talked about, before, we're not video editors. We're not content creators. I mean, I guess we are now, but we weren't going into this podcast or going into this project. I didn't really know what I was doing at this point, with the green screen and all of this stuff. And this was just basically a trial run. We were going to see, how it came out. And I was really half expecting this episode, or the series rather, to come out horrible, and we would never actually see the light of day. But at least we learned something. And
that's the spirit,
right? But I mean, I went into it with these expectations, just kind of like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to get it back to my computer, and I'm going to try putting all this together, and it's just not going to work, or something. And I consider this series our pilot series, if you will. You'll notice there's a lot of there's one whole little scene of Conrad where he's talking that I forgot to take the green screen out, and it's just the green screen in this episode. And there's just a lot of little things like that I was learning as we go. And I kind of look back on it now, and 'cause, I mean, I edited this episode, I think back in early November of 2019. Looking back now, it's kind of like, man, I would do this different. I would do this different. I'd cut out that awkward pause. I'd do this. It's just cool to kind of go back and see these, see what it was, what you started with, and where we're at now. And you guys will obviously see, as this season rolls on, towards the episodes, really just even probably 10 episodes into this season, you'll really start to kind of see a bigger increase in the production value, which is always fun for me. So that's what I like getting into with this. Not that I don't like playing the games. I really enjoy playing these games, but for me, a big therapeutic aspect for me is just putting everything together. I'm happy with the way this came out, even though it could have come out a little bit better, I think. But at the same time, we were still learning. It was a pilot. It was fly by the seat of our pants. We made it work. We made it happen. We launched, guys. We launched. The stuff's out for the world to see.
Yeah, so I had more faith in Nate than he apparently had in himself with putting these videos together. And I think part of it too is I definitely never wanted to come in the way of find creative ideas. And you'll see and you will see with every episode and every game, there are these just little differences. Just the way here's old cranking butts, and the way the screen moves and his name comes across the screen and everything. And even earlier than that, the way the character sheets populate at the beginning, those types of things will change as they go along. Basically every choice that Nate's made along the way, I've been impressed with and I thought was good. Hopefully, you think that too, but I
have to agree with that as well. I'll always enjoy the random messages with just Nate putting this little video clip. It's like, hey guys, take a look at this. What do you think? I always love getting those. It's okay, this is fantastic. Nate's doing phenomenal work.
Well, thank you. It's these guys. I almost feel bad. I inundate them sometimes with oh, hey, check out this thing I just made for an episode. And I'll shoot them a 5-second, 10, 20-second clip, something like that. But I know they'll enjoy it, so I send it. But of course, you always get that little thing in your back of your head, am I bothering them? It's 3:00 in the morning. Should I really be sending this now? But whatever. One of the goals that we had was to try and put together the best show that we could within our means and with what we knew how to do. We don't have a giant bank account to fund this, So we tried to come up with what we could do on a budget, and with things we already had. It was cool to kind of try to do this on a almost like MacGyver. I had like a paper clip and a camera. I'm like, all right, let's put together a show.
Yeah, and that's certainly how we filmed this episode. But,
Yes.
Yeah.
But as time goes on, we certainly buckle down, and I think it's
invested more and more.
Oh yeah. With some of the stuff that I'm editing right now, which is really later in the season, it's night and day. The difference, part of it, and I know we talked about a lot of this stuff on the first episode of the Degecast, the hour-long marathon. But a lot of this stuff was just this kind of natural progression of, okay, we try something. Okay, it came out okay, but I didn't really like it, so let's tweak it and do something different. I think one of the things that, when we're actually able to get together again and play games and we're not stuck in quarantine and all that stuff and we can shoot again, I kind of think I might want to get like a different main camera angle and kind of try a couple different things when we go to shoot next season. But still, I'm happy with everything that we were able to do this season, and I hope you guys are too.
Yeah, and feel free, like as Nate said earlier, tell us things that you do like and things that you don't like. And, either we'll take it as, good critical feedback, or we'll say, no, you're dumb. No, just kidding.
We'll say you're dumb. We'll say you're dumb.
Yeah, some of us will.
Well, we'll mutter it under our breath anyway, at least. But no, seriously though, we appreciate any constructive criticism, any feedback you guys have. We're not professionals, but we're trying to portray them on TV. Not really TV, YouTube. So
depends on what type of professional you're talking about.
Right, we're not professional YouTubers. We're not professional video editors or content creators. But we are professional DJs.
Professional DJs, yep.
Yeah. Don't forget it.
Don't you guys forget that. All right, guys, this has been another episode of the Degecast, the launch day episode of the Degecast. It's exciting. We'll be back next week, next Saturday, 8 a.m. You guys will find another episode of Degecast in your podcast feed. We are also launching them on YouTube as well to make things a little bit easier for you, make it a little bit more accessible for you guys to find these. For the Degecast, I am Nate Lindberg. Again, you can find me all over social media at Nate Lindberg. Tony, who are you?
I am Tony.
Where can we find you on Twitter, Tony?
Oh, on Twitter you can find me at Tony, son of Zygmus.
Tony, son of Zygmus. And Conrad. Conrad has officially joined Twitter himself. Conrad.
Oh, well, no. Do not message me there. I have had that account, and that's just for like contests and stuff where I'm trying to win free stuff. So like I don't use it for anything aside from that. So do not follow Conrad. Don't follow him. Don't look him up. Don't follow me on Twitter. No, just if you want to contact me in any way, definitely, the Degetime email, or go to our website, degetime.com, and sign up there, and you can contact me there. And I think those are definitely the best ways.
You could also, bother one of us, and we'd be like, yo, Conrad, bother this person. So we could do that too.
Or, hey, reach out on our Discord. That's public now.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, that's right.
Link in the description.
Link in the description of the YouTube video for Kids on Bikes episode 1 and upcoming videos as well. So, Conrad, we should probably put a link up on the website too. But we'll do that after we're done recording. We're not going to do that now. It's a waste of you guys' time, and so is this wrap-up. So take care, guys.
Bye.